Greetings, visitor. I don't know what's brought you here to Dan Locke's content, but I do know that if value is what you're seeking, you're in the right place. 2 years ago, I had the worst fall of my life. Not physically, but in literally every other possible conceivable way. It started off as a great sounding, intense martial arts program that would get us into Hollywood productions from a rich and powerful, multi-millionaire, legendary decorated martial artist that had powerful and numerous connections all over the industry. Being a long-time martial artist and former world champion myself, I thought, wow, this is a perfect natural fit. And so I gave it everything that I had. The problem was, no results were ever going to come. I didn't know it yet, but there was no cheese at the end of this maze. I worked for 3 years for virtually free and got paid almost nothing. I slaved away for over 115 hours a week, every single week, living in the business office upstairs. I went to all sorts of jobs, across all sorts of fields, without proper safety equipment or any kinds of sensible precautions being taken. And what did I get for it? My entire investment was destroyed by the one person that I had called master up until then. I'd sacrificed everything for this guy. I followed every instruction he gave me, no matter how badly it was going to hurt me. Literally, the guy hired a night crew and destroyed the building. He gutted every piece of equipment. He took the light fixtures, the doors, all the wiring in all the walls. He knocked out the walls, and he broke every window and piece of glass in the place. I arrived to work that morning to see a barely standing, hollowed out rubble cave and a lot of very confused looking clients and employees standing outside in the parking lots. What do we do now? Well, no one made it out of that scenario well. Last I heard, that master was being chased by law enforcement and multiple federal agencies like the IRS and the FBI up into the mountain ranges of Big Bear, California for all the people he damaged and all the contracts he breached. In retrospect though, it was partly my fault, because I should have responded to some of the red flags that were just very obvious. I'd also been willing to put myself in a situation where a rich and powerful owner had everything, and we the employees were left with almost nothing. I'd been working up to the vice president of that company. I worked very hard to get up to that position, and I didn't make anywhere near what executives of that level are supposed to, and also I guarantee you I went way, way further than I was supposed to in a lot of areas. Everyone else got even less than that to work with. It was a very, very harsh lesson, and at the end, it forced me to pack up and move back up across the country. I had to move back in with family members to recover from the ordeal and to just try getting back on my feet. I suffered multiple physical problems from the kinds of risky work and work-related injuries that I had incurred from over the years that amounted to almost $300,000 in debt. I can never pay that off making what I have been. It's impossible. I'll be 100 years old. It was while recovering from this and with this mindset and my back up against the wall, so to speak, that I started looking for some way out. It took me months to get my head back in the game. But when I was ready, I started searching very, very hard. And it was this moment that I learned of Dan Locke and the High Ticket Closer Certification Program. I knew this was my answer. Never again will I find myself the little guy in the business relationship. From now on, I vow to be the big wallet. This program was unique in that it actually delivered valuable skills in a very direct way that allows you to immediately turn them into an income. I'd never encountered any other program that are so results-oriented. I was most surprised by the amount of support that it was given to me from the HTC family, especially now since the program's had some time to be out there and evolve and improve. The amount of extra materials and organized assistance, it's very abundant throughout the entire process. Seriously, we better be able to do something since they're doing about 80% of the work for us compared to what early HTC members got. Dan has given me back something very, very important. He gave me back part of my spiritual core. After that whole experience with that last master, I found it hard to apply myself to anything. Why try? I tried way, way harder than most people will in even 1 week in their entire lives. And I did it every single week for 3 years consistently. But to what end? I got utterly destroyed for that kind of commitment. The lower self mindset and that fear, it kept me down for almost 2 entire years. I couldn't find a single reason why life was worth living anymore. Everything I'd worked for was dead, gone. Dan's content not only will allow me to dig myself out of this hole, but rise up further than I ever was before. And with a high income skill foundation so solid, I don't think I can ever fully fall back down again. Not like this. I now can dedicate myself once again to the extreme levels, because this time, there's cheese at the end of this maze. I love challenging trials as long as the reward is worth it. I see myself in a very different world in 12 months. I not only will be on the next step up from where I am, but I'll be very close, if not already working on getting to the next step after that. Moving back to LA, that's going to happen within 3 months, and dominating it will be well underway in the following 9 afterwards. My yearly income, it's going to look like 6 figures, and I'll be ready to make moves to turn that into 7 within the first 2 to 4 years afterwards. Opportunities are so abundant. I have no doubt in my mind that I'll be able to post another update video testimonial very soon after this, with actual bank statements and proof to show my implementation of this skill in the real world as an income stream. If you're skeptical about this program's legitimacy or the financial commitment necessary to purchase the course, I just have some questions for you. Why are you here in the first place? Where do you see this program taking you? Is that future version of yourself something you'd actually like to happen? If no, then this program probably isn't a good fit for you. However, if any of what I've said here, or any of what you've seen or heard of on Dan's content resonates with you, I urge you to get on the phone with one of us. If that image you saw in your head is worth achieving, how soon would you like to get started? We'll see you in class.